One mindset shift can change everything. I mean, everything. It can take you from going stuck to thriving, doubting to believing, I can't to I will, but it doesn't happen by accident. It is literally a choice. I used to think that life was just happening to me, like I couldn't change it. But what I found is that from all the programming, like I felt stuck. But what I learned is that I get to personally choose who I want to be, what I want to be, and no one else but me dictates that. And so we have the power to choose. So let's get into it. No one's coming for us, no one's coming to save us. We have to know that it's up to us what we choose. We are the ultimate responsibility to do what we want to do and become who we want to be and go after our dreams. No one's going to hand us anything. Every action I take towards my singing career is I hear in my head, like, you're not good enough or you don't deserve to have success. And so this is always prevalent in everything I do. And so I get to choose like whether I sit in victimhood and pout and cry, or if I'm just going to take the action anyway and just keep going no matter if I know what the results are going to be or not. So it's just is something that like I've had to learn. And there are some days like I need to pout, cry, get it all out, and just be like, oh, poor me for that day. But then I need to get over it that as soon as that day's over because tomorrow's another day. And so it's something that I am learning that like I can easily get sucked into the victimhood or like, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm never gonna get there. Like, it's so not worth it to have those thoughts. So it's like I just say like, what could I do to take action the next day and just get back on it and take action no matter whether I know what's going to happen or not. And so, but I know that it's something I want. So I'm just going to keep going after it and take the action no matter what my limiting beliefs are or what I was programmed, through society or as I was growing up. What I do find is even though I have those thoughts, it's still easier to take the action no matter what now that I'm getting more used to that and realizing that I'm always going to have those thoughts, but it's just something for me to be aware of and just keep moving forward. Understanding mindset is a big thing. So you're either in a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. So if you are stuck and you don't want to take any action around, learning anything new or pushing past like your limiting beliefs or your fears, then you are stuck in a fixed mindset. But if you are taking on a growth mindset, that means like you're doing research, you're learning different things, you're taking uncomfortable action, you're taking action on your dreams or something you truly want. And it's just like and growth mindset causes expansion and you create so much knowledge in your life. The benefits of adopting a growth mindset is like you become, very knowledgeable or you become skillful in areas. You do a lot of research and you just try your best to like figure yourself out or why you keep doing things in your life or you learn more about people or you learn about others or your hobbies, whatever it's health or mental health or anything like that. But it's like you create an open dialogue in your life with others or yourself and you become like a more like loving, you become content. It's almost like more freeing because now you have more knowledge and you know what to do or you know why you are the way you are. And so it's like it's very freeing, but you're not perfect, but like who cares? Like you're constantly learning and that's the most important part. Like learning is such a huge thing and it's so important in my opinion. A growth mindset is so expansive and you become such a better person almost for it and you become more loving in my opinion. But I'm like maybe that's just me, but I feel like you become more like a loving person because you start, thinking about different things in different perspectives. With a growth mindset, I feel like you transform, your relationships to be better and you also create more abundance in your life because now you're more open and expansive. Here are a few steps to go about changing your mindset. One of the steps would be identifying limiting beliefs. So this could be something like, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm too old, I'm too young, it's too late for me, I don't deserve success, I can't make the money like other people can, I don't deserve money. It's just like all these limiting beliefs that keep us stuck. And so for me, like one of them that I come up with a lot is like, I'm not good enough. And so this is very prevalent in my life, but I identify it and I know it comes up almost all the time when I'm taking action, but I still push through because I know it's something that, I'm always going to deal with from childhood. So basically, when you recognize your limiting beliefs, you just notice them, be aware of them, but don't let them run your life because they're false. They're not true statements about you. And then so once you realize that, or at least you have like the inkling, then you will take action. But it's ultimately up to you to choose that you aren't gonna let that limiting belief keep you stuck or blocked. Embracing failure. Failure is not a bad thing. I don't even like to call it failure, but I like to call it as like a learning opportunity because every time you make a mistake or you fail, it's just an opportunity to learn like what you do better next time. And so for me, I find that like there's so many times I make mistakes or fail, whatever. But it's like it's something like what could I learn from this or what is this teaching me? But it's like I don't I don't get stuck in it anymore where like usually I'm like, "Oh, I'm too afraid to even start because I'm afraid of failing." But it's just like I know that like I'm going to learn sometimes the hard way all along the way, but it's something that like I know is necessary for me because the more I learn, the more I'm able to yeah, observe things or know what to do or what not to do. Basically, don't put a high importance value on failure. Like, think of it as like a trial and error or like an opportunity to experiment and try new things without like being attached to it. But because you never know what you're going to create out of what you learn from failing or creating those mistakes. For me, there's been a few failures or mistakes, but it's like they've all been learning experiences. So like for example, for me, like I when I perform live, sometimes I sound pitchy or harsh and I'm like, why do I keep sounding like that? And I realized that through like a vocal teacher that I hired, that it's just something I got to work on. It's the placement of how I sing. And so it's just like it's so interesting, like, that I keep running across this because, like, I've been singing my whole life, but it's funny, like, I find that singing live is so much more difficult, and it sounds different than, like, a recording, obviously, because you can't use, like, EQ or things to, like, level out your voice, but it's funny because it's, like, there's been quite a few times where, like, I'll sing live and I'm like, "Wow, that sounded so pitchy and terrible," but to me, but it's like now I just take that information instead of, like, getting totally down on myself. I go, "Okay, what can I do to work on this?" And so I'm working with my vocal teacher on, toning back my voice so I'm not, like, projecting so hard, therefore forcing an outcome, therefore causing it to be pitchy. And so it's like it's an ongoing process. It's not something that's, like, automatic, and, I still have found myself, like, certain times I'll be pitchy on live performances, but it's something that I'm working on. I'm just letting it ride and I'm working on it to the best of my ability. But it's something that like I know I need to work on it, for my future success. Another way to adjust your mindset is to practice gratitude. I'd use this because, I find that like when I'm in gratitude, I have a positive outlook on life or I create like a positive atmosphere or experience for that day or right after because I'm like, "Oh, I have things or I am grateful for where I'm at and like all this stuff." So like for example, like practice gratitude as in like, "Oh, I woke up today and I worked out. Oh, I meal prepped the weekend before to prep for the week." It could be simple or small things, oh, I got up and I worked on my singing for 10 minutes or I meditated for 10 minutes. Just like little things, but it puts you in like a positive outlook on life. And it's something that's super important. And I find if I'm in a not so good attitude or kind of negative thinking, I bring up gratitude and that's what I work on. And you could write them out or you can say them out loud or say them in your head, but it's like it creates positivity in your life. Another thing would be surrounding yourself with growth minded individuals or people who are where you want to be or are higher up than where you want to go, and just something because they're already like elevated, so they're more able to encourage you because they've already been there. So it's like empowerment and inspiring and encouraging individuals because you start to rise and change your vibration and rise up to them if you hang out with them on a regular basis because it just kind of wears off on you, which is amazing, which I love. I can say for me that being around growth minded individuals or people who are like elevated in life or successful in business, that they bring me up. And so I end up that like when I'm around them, like I'm so much happier and I just feel like everything's possible because I see what they're doing. And so like also having your conversations with them, I find that like they're much more positive. And so that's why I like being around them because then it brings me up and then it's just super influential and super important in my opinion. So find those communities and reach out to other people and find some groups like hobbies or like if you're into dance, like find dance communities or something where you're all like working hard at something so that you can feed off each other. Another step would be to seek feedback and learn from it. So this what I mean by this is so allowing others to give you um, constructive feedback or criticism, if that's what you want to say. Just allow somebody to be open with you and be like, hey, like, I think this would be better for you, or this could help you in your business or in your dreams. But like, also remember that, like, if it doesn't feel like good advice, then don't take it. Like, it's up to you to choose, but it's like being willing and open to listening to it. So it's like, but if it's positive feedback, then like it's most likely something that like you should pay attention to. Don't get me wrong, like I don't really like, criticism or feedback around my singing, but when people do, then I learn something about, what they like or something that maybe I didn't hear or I can working on things to make them better. But it's just allowing people to say, give you a good advice. Basically, don't take advice from people who are not where you want to be or who haven't done what you want to do because they don't know. So it's like find people who can mentor you or encourage you or give you little tidbits like, oh, hey, like this worked for me. Maybe it could work for you. Just remember that, there's a lot of people who have a lot more knowledge and, it's up to you whether you want to take it or not, of course. But it's super important to hear this from others. Like, I know that's been super influential for me, but I also have to remember that when people give me opinions or advice that haven't done it, what I want to do, or haven't actually taken the action, then I'm not going to listen to them, obviously. So it's up to you. Another step would be visualization and reprogramming your mind. So this could be using meditation. So meditation is super powerful because you get out of your mind and into your heart. So it's like you end up like creating this like vibration of empowerment through meditation, especially if you do it consistently. And so this could also look like, using affirmations every day. If you do this consistently and create it as a habit, then it's like you continuously like improve or you start to see a shift in your mind because your brain is super powerful. It doesn't know the difference between reality and what you tell it. So it's like if you're telling it positive things and being like, I am worthy or I am abundant, I am wealthy, or, just stuff like that. Like I am bold, I am powerful, or I'm a great singer, or um, I'm a wealth making machine, just stuff like that, that you are empowering your brain because then your brain goes, oh, I am, and then it becomes like a normal thing. But it's like you gotta create that, affirmation for that or your positive thoughts because your thoughts really do matter or what you're thinking really does matter. When it comes to visualization, when you're visualizing what you want, you create the emotions around and the way of being of who you need to be in order to, get what you want, basically. So it's like what kind of feelings, what kind of emotions do you feel or would you feel in the moment as if you already had it now? So you create it as if you already have it now. And then it's funny, like you're eventually, if you do this on a consistent basis or like really visualize yourself as that person and doing, whatever it is that you want to do, then it's like your body and your mind and your soul starts to connect to that frequency that you already are, and you already have everything. So it's like you're not in a sense of lack, and therefore you will attract what you want. Our minds and our brains are so powerful, but if you can create all these amazing, tools on a regular, you'll be amazed to see who you are and who you become because of it. I'd love to hear from you. Comment below, and I'd love to hear what mindset shift you're going to work on today or what you want to work on. And I'd love that we can have a conversation around like how I can help or assist. And so, we're all working on this together. So let's do this. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more info. You can have anything you desire. So let's keep working on it together, and it is all possible. Let's rise like a phoenix and make those mind shifts happen. Anything is possible.